Need a hand, ma'am? Stranded female CEO meets single dad mechanic on Christmas Eve. Warning disclaimer. This story is a work of fiction. All characters, names, dialogues, and events are created for entertainment purposes only. Snow fell softly over the quiet highway, blanketing the world in a peaceful white hush. It was Christmas Eve, and most people were already home, wrapped in warmth, laughter, and glowing lights. But not everyone. Victoria Hale gripped the steering wheel of her sleek black sedan, her breath visible in the freezing air as the engine sputtered, then died. No, 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 she muttered, trying the ignition again. Nothing. Her phone showed one bar of signal, flickering like a dying candle. For someone who ran a billion-dollar company, negotiated million-dollar deals, and commanded boardrooms without hesitation, this moment felt strangely helpless. A stranded CEO. Alone. On Christmas Eve, she stepped out, wrapping her coat tighter around herself as the icy wind cut through her. The road stretched empty in both directions. No cars, no lights, just silence. Perfect, she whispered bitterly. Minutes passed. Then, in the distance, headlights appeared. A pickup truck. It slowed, then pulled over beside her. Victoria stiffened. The window rolled down, revealing a man in his early 30s. His face was tired but kind, with grease-stained hands gripping the steering wheel. You okay, ma'am? He asked gently. Car trouble? Victoria hesitated. She wasn't used to trusting strangers. But she also didn't have a choice. Yes, she admitted. It just died. I think it's the engine. He nodded. Mind if I take a look? She studied him. Worn jacket, old truck, tools in the back. Definitely a mechanic. Go ahead. He stepped out, grabbing a flashlight and popping the hood. I'm Daniel, by the way, he said. Victoria. Daniel leaned over the engine, inspecting it carefully. His movements were calm, confident, like someone who had done this 1,000 times. Batteries fine, fuel lines okay, he murmured. Victoria hugged herself against the cold, watching him. You don't have to do this, she said. I can call a tow truck. He gave a small smile. On Christmas Eve, might take hours. Besides, wouldn't feel right leaving you out here. There was something disarming about his tone. No expectations, no hidden agenda, just kindness. After a few minutes, he straightened up. Starter's gone, he said. I can try a temporary fix, but it won't last long. Victoria sighed. I just need to get to the city. Daniel glanced at the empty road, then back at her. My place is about 10 minutes from here, he said. I've got better tools there. I can fix it properly. Victoria froze. Go home with a stranger. Her instincts screamed no, but the cold, the isolation, the reality of her situation pressed in. Before she could answer, a small voice called from the truck. Dad. Victoria looked up. A little girl, maybe 6 years old, peeked out from the passenger seat, wrapped in a blanket. Daniel smiled. It's okay, sweetheart, just helping someone. Victoria's tension eased instantly. A father. With his child. Not a threat, just a man trying to help. She nodded slowly. All right. Daniel's home was modest. A small, weathered house with warm yellow lights glowing through the windows. Inside, it felt like a different world. A Christmas tree stood in the corner, decorated with handmade ornaments. The smell of cocoa filled the air. Soft music played in the background. Make yourself comfortable, Daniel said. I'll take care of your car. Victoria stepped inside, her heels clicking softly on the wooden floor. The little girl approached her shyly. I'm Lily, she said. Victoria smiled. Nice to meet you, Lily. Are you rich? Lily asked bluntly. Daniel nearly dropped his tools. Lily. Victoria blinked, then laughed softly. Why would you ask that? Because your coat looks expensive, Lily said seriously. Victoria knelt down. Maybe a little. Lily nodded thoughtfully. That's okay. Daddy says being nice is more important than being rich. Victoria glanced at Daniel, who looked slightly embarrassed. Smart girl, she said. Lily beamed. An hour passed. Daniel worked tirelessly in the cold garage, while Victoria sat inside, sipping hot cocoa Lily had insisted on making. It had been years since she'd experienced something so simple, so real. No boardrooms, no assistants, no pressure, just quiet warmth. Finally, Daniel returned, wiping his hands. Your car's ready, he said. Victoria stood. That was fast. He shrugged. Just needed the right tools. She reached into her purse, pulling out her wallet. Thank you, she said. Really? How much do I owe you? Daniel shook his head immediately. Nothing. Victoria frowned. That's not happening. You spent hours helping me. It's Christmas, he said simply. Consider it a good deed. She stared at him. In her world, nothing came free. Everything had a price. But here was a man, asking for nothing. At least let me pay for the parts, she insisted. He smiled gently. Already had them. Victoria hesitated, then slowly lowered her wallet. Then, thank you. Lily ran up, hugging her unexpectedly. Merry Christmas, she said. Victoria froze, then awkwardly returned the hug. Merry Christmas, Lily. As she walked out to her car, something felt different. Lighter, like she was leaving behind more than just a house. 3 days later, Daniel stood in his small garage, working on an old engine. Bills piled up on the workbench. Business had been slow, very slow. Dad, Lily called from inside. There's a fancy car outside. Daniel frowned, wiping his hands as he stepped out. A sleek black SUV was parked in front of his garage. Victoria stepped out, but this time, she wasn't alone. 2 men in suits followed her. Daniel blinked. Victoria, she smiled. Hi, what are you doing here? I came to return the favor, she said. He frowned. You already thanked me. Not properly. One of the men handed Daniel a folder. Confused, he opened it. His eyes widened. This is a contract, Victoria said. My company is expanding its automotive division. We need someone who actually understands cars, not just business. Daniel looked up, stunned. You're offering me a job? She shook her head. I'm offering you a partnership. Silence. I don't understand, he said. I saw how you work, she continued. Your skill, your honesty, that's rare. My company needs that. Daniel glanced at the papers again. The numbers, the terms. It could change everything. For him, for Lily. This is too much, he said quietly. Victoria shook her head. No, she said. It's exactly what you deserve. Lily ran outside, looking between them. Is Daddy in trouble? She asked. Victoria smiled, kneeling beside her. No, sweetheart, your dad just got a big opportunity. Lily grinned. Does that mean we can get a bigger Christmas tree next year? Daniel laughed softly, his eyes misting. Yeah, he said. Maybe it does. He looked back at Victoria. Why are you doing this? He asked. She paused, then answered honestly. Because you helped me when you didn't have to, she said. And reminded me of something I forgot. What's that? That kindness still exists, she said softly. A quiet moment passed. Then Daniel extended his hand. All right, he said. Let's do it. Victoria shook it firmly. That Christmas Eve, 2 completely different worlds had collided on a lonely road. A powerful CEO. A struggling mechanic. Neither expected anything from the other. But sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness create the biggest changes. And sometimes, all it takes is a simple question. Need a hand, ma'am? Heart 1500 WAD.